Did you know 1 in 4 people worldwide will experience a mental illness problem in any given year? Are you one of them? Let's dig it. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we would like to share about mental illness awareness. The terms mental health and mental illnesses are increasingly being used interchangeably, but they do not. There is no health without mental health, as the World Health Organization firmly states. Not everyone will experience a mental illness in their lifetime, but everyone will struggle or have a challenge with their mental well-being, just as we all have challenges with our physical well-being from time to time. When we talk about mental health, we mean our mental well-being such as emotion, thoughts, and feeling, our ability to solve problems and overcome challenges, our social connection, and our understanding of the world around us. Why a mental illness is one that affects how people think, feel, behave, or interact with others. There are numerous mental illnesses, each with unique symptoms that affect people live in various ways. Mental illness does not have a single cause. A variety of factors can increase one's risk of developing mental illness, including your gene and family history, a mother's exposed to virus or toxic chemical while pregnant, your life experience such as stress or a history of abuse, especially if they occur in childhood. Biological factors such as chemical imbalance in the brain, a traumatic brain injury, and having a serious medical condition such as cancer. Do not confuse with character flaws because they do not cause mental illness. They have nothing to do with laziness or weakness.
Alright, for today's webinar, we will discuss about looking after our mental health. Okay, this is a webinar on caring for our mind, body, and spirits. Alright, for today, my friend and I will discuss about more on safe symptoms of a mental illness and why it is crucial for you. Why it is crucial for us to know about this. Okay, so what are symptoms of mental illness, guys? Is it just a state of mind? Right. Okay. It is more common than you think. 1 in 5 adults experience a mental health concern in the past year. So the numbers are staggering. Today, nearly 1 billion people live with a mental disorder, and in low-income countries, especially, more than 75% of people with a disorder do not receive treatments. Have you? So every year, close to 3 million people die due to substance abuse. So every year, every 40 seconds, a person dies because of suicide. So about 50% of mental health disorders starts by the age of 14. This is not the lies. This is not something that we are exaggerate, but this is a legit source where we get it from worldbank.org. Okay, right. So next, mental health is integral. When we are mentally healthy, we can realize our abilities, cope with stress, work productively, and contribute to society. So, guys, have you felt any of this? Okay, significant tiredness, low energy or problem sleeping, maybe detachment from realities, maybe you had delusion, something, hearing any voices in your head, paranoid or hallucination. Okay, next, inability to cope with daily problems or stress, trouble understanding and relating to situations and to people, or maybe have you ever had one of those suicidal thinking? All right, so don't hesitate to seek professional help. We care about our hearts, so why can't we care about our minds? Okay, after this, it will be continued by my friends. So yeah, thank you for now.
Thank you, Ms. Farisha, for your good explanation. So now I will continue for explain more about symptoms of mental illness. First, feeling sad or down. Our emotion provided information about our surrounding. Feeling sad or happy allow us to make decisions and learn about world event. You need to consider this if you are upset about something that happened, you are more likely to avoid that event even in the future. For example, you may feel happy, but there are literature of range that are simply not important enough for you to recognize fully. This is how emotion function on the scala. Second, confused thinking or reduced ability to concentrate. When it's come to think, the mind has a preferred mode of operation. When using correctly, you will have abundance of free time. Good decision create time while bad bad decision waste. Poor decision take up our time, increase our anxiety, and sap our energy. Spending time thinking is the best way to improve your ability to think. Your decision span for your thought, you can just spend a few minutes here and then getting the gist of a problem and expand to make good decision. Third, excessive fear or worry or extreme feeling of guilt. Well, or probably done something we regret at some point in our life. Making mistake is nature and is a part of normal human development. On the plus side, remember that guilt can be a very benefit and constructive emotion. Why? It help you to recognize your action and motivate you to improve and learn from your mistake. It may also indicate that you have empathy and high moral standard. Fourth, extreme mood change or of high and low. Hormone imbalance are the most common cause of mood swing. Progesterone and estrogen hormone regulate female function and process by producing serotonin and increase serotonin receptor sensitivity. As a result, when hormone level fail, scientists believe that the occurrence of mood swing is caused by this changing hormone reaction. Mood swing can be triggered by a variety of physiology, behavior, and health factors like mental illness, stress, relationship, and problem. Why is mental health crucial for healthy living? In today's world, a wide range of people are seen dealing with a wide range of problems. This issue concern one mental health gain traction at a faster rate now. People occasionally suffer from depression and may even experience panic attack. It is because they have either lost a loving one or have lost the dream job. When a person faces all these difficult situation in their life, it undoubtedly has an impact on their mental health. So here are some of the reasons why. It helps you to handle and cope with stress and adversity. Second is promote productivity, whether for work, sport, creative, pressure, or caregiving. Third is let you realize your full potential. And last is also allow you to build healthy relationship with other people and your community.
They are point to overcome those signs of a mental illness. First, express willingness to help or give advice. Express your willingness to help or give advice to your loved ones. Let them know that you are worried is a good way to open up a conversation. It shows that you are care about the person, have a time for them, and they do not have a do about things when they are with you. Second, give a moral support and hope that every problem can be solved. To cure the mental illness is by giving the moral support that every problem can be solved. Surely, starting the conversation may be difficult, and it is normal to feel upset if someone you care about is struggling. But it can help to stay and ensure them they do not have to deal with things alone. Third, ask to meet in person so as not to leave them in person. You can also be there for them in other ways, like cooking for them, going for a walk, or watching a movie together. A chat may come more naturally if you are doing something together first. As a community, we must do more to help our loved ones by supporting them through the dark day and talking about their mental health. We spark the initial action. With rate increasing, we must come together and find positive way in involve ourselves in the conversation and ultimately get our loved one the help they need before it is too late.
My name is Siti Marja. Okay, for the other three solutions that can help them is that send advice and comforting message. If you are worried about someone, it can be difficult to know what to do. When you are aware there is an issue, it is important not to wait. Waiting and hoping they will come for your heart might lose valuable time in getting them support. Talking to someone is often the step to take when you know you are going through a hard time. This way, you can find out what is troubling them and what you can do to help. Let them share as much or as little as they want. Let them lead the discussion at their own pace. Don't put pressure on them to tell anything they aren't ready to talk about. Talking can take a lot of trust and courage. You might be the first person they have been able to talk about this. Talk about self-care. Talk about way of distressing and practicing self-care as if they find anything helpful. Exercising, having a healthy diet and getting a good night's sleep can help protect mental health and sustain well-being. Listen carefully to what they told you. Repeat what they have said back to them to ensure you have understood it. You don't have to agree with what they are saying, but by showing you have understood how they feel, is contact nearby counseling service. The first is when you have thoughts, emotions, or behaviors that are out of control, especially when they are affecting your relationships, your work, or your sense of well-being. Never feel embarrassed to ask for help at times when you are upset or depressed. Next is when you are struggling to deal with life painful challenges such as a major illness, the loss of loved ones, divorce, or job problems. This issue may be your own, but could also include those of others you care about. The third is when you use alcohol or drug interference with your health, your emotions, your relationships, your job, or your ability to fulfill your daily responsibilities. Other is when you are confused, fraught with emotions, and need the perspective of a caring yet ambitious person to help sort among difficult choices. And lastly, when you feel that life is no longer worth living, that you are hopeless and have reached the end of the life, and you would rather die than feeling the pain of the present. In the midst of such distress, you are not prepared to make life or death decision. Ask for help. So within KL area, you may go to the hospital Kuala Lumpur to ask for psychology treatment. The last one is took them to the religious place. Religion and spirituality are both good in trying to understand the meaning of life and, in some cases, how a relationship with a higher power may influence that meaning. While religion and spirituality are similar in foundation, they are very different in practice. Depression is important to treat not just because of the emotional distress but also because of the increase of risk suicide. In a systematic review that examined 68 studies, researchers looked for a relationship between religion and suicide. Among these, 57 studies reported fewer suicides or more negative attitudes towards suicide among the more religious. In a recent Canadian cross-sectional study, religious attendance was associated with increased suicide attempts in the general population and in those with a mental illness, independent of the effects of social support. Religious teachings may prevent suicide, but social support, comfort, and meaning derived from religious belief are also important. More recent studies indicate that the relationship between religion and depression may be more complex than previously shown. All religious beliefs and variables are not necessarily related to better mental health. Factors such as denomination, race, sex, and types of religious coping may affect the relationship between religion or spirituality and depression. Negative religious coping, being angry with God, feeling let down, endorsing negative support from the religious community, and loss of faith correlate with higher depression scores.
Assalamualaikum, I'm Nuradila binti Azizi. I will present about the conclusions of our topic.
What we can conclude from our awareness that people with a mental health issue are people whose difference should be celebrated, whose contributions to society as people of integrity and perseverance, and they should be appreciated, and whose right to determine the key decisions that shape their own life that should be always enabled and paramount. For your information, there are a lot of recovery centers in Malaysia. Before it gets worse, we can help who are in this suffer illness. Here are the list of the mental illness centers that famous and available in Malaysia. By the year 2020, mental illness is expected to be the second biggest healthy problem affecting Malaysians after the heart disease. According to the latest National Healthy and Morbidity Survey, every 3 in 10 adults aged 16 years and above in Malaysia suffer from some form of mental health issue. Unfortunately, there is still a lack of understanding on the disease, especially in terms of common mental disorder, the cause and possible consequence, as well as recognizing the early signs of major mental problem. There is also a strong social stigma associated with a mental illness from a cultural standpoint shaped by superstitions, belief, and misconception.
This negative perception often leads patients with a mental illness to suffer in silence, often ostracized by society with little hope of acceptance, let alone recovery. In the conclusion, we have to change the stigma to the people who has the mental health issue. We as a community must support and help them to their recovery and not let them recovery alone. These are the proof that we posting on our social media. We use the platform of social media such as Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We believe by using the social media platform, it's the faster way to spread the awareness to the community. By this posting, we hope that the community can alert from our surrounding, and we gaining the 107 viewers, 15 likes, 1 favorite and 5 comments.